What's up? What's up, YouTube? I know you're sick of this one, but we're taking the carbs back out of the Suzuki. Why, you may ask? Slight leak in the carbs. I'm gonna put this. I gotta put this somewhere safe. Let's put it over here with the lift. Yeah, there's like nothing left in this. Perfect. Yeah, Suzuki carb slight leak. I bought a full carb rebuild kit here. Came in a nice small box that bent the gaskets, so I left the gaskets out to flatten for a while and put them back in this gorgeous thing. Now they're all intertwined. Awesome. Cool. So we've got 1,000,004 parts in here, and we're going to replace every single one we can out of those carbs now. Why? Because of the small leak. That's all it is. Got Gladiator on. No one saw that. No one saw that. But we're going to take all the carbs apart. We're going to get it running even better than it already is, even though it's so close. Oh, I guess the other part that I was messing with was the throttle, and I didn't have it secured right, so maybe that's why it was sticking in places. So we'll have to check that out as we get going. We have the top of the carbs have the new stainless steel on them. I keep wanting to call them carbon fiber. I keep doing that. Why am I doing that today? The stainless steel hex bolts on them, which are nice. So if we need to take those off, which I think we need to get underneath there for the needles, which if we're getting new everything, we're going to do it new everything. We're going to compare sizes, though, of the needles. Those are not the jets, right? Those are the needles. Anyways, we're going to compare the size of those just to make sure we're not placing it something smaller or the wrong size. Cause some issues ooh, excuse me, with fuel to air, which I think these are already going to have a problem with that, because they are because the fuel to air on this one car, this one side on, actually it's on one, isn't it? Oh yeah, just realized that the fuel to air on one is screwed, cylinder one, because like one of the previous owners must have taken this apart and broken off part of it trying to get it out, I'm gonna guess. Not the guy who owns it now, obviously, the previous owner, who this is, I think the bike's still registered to, technically. But we'll figure that out later. It doesn't run, it doesn't need registered fully yet. So we just gotta yank these guys out as always. It's always the fun part of the job. Oh, come on. Man. Oh, there we go. Whew. Oh, you can still hear fuel in the bottom. I thought I ran the bike pretty darn dry. It was not to the firing well, so there must be just enough in the bottom to make some noise. Now I'm hearing bikes outside and I'm jealous. Okay, one. And disconnect the throttle. Two. Okay, we are disconnected. Everything is out. Carbs are coming. Let's listen here for a second. All right. Yeah, there's still fuel in there. Darn it. I was really hoping those would be empty by now. Oh well. Okay, then we are not going to be working on these tonight. We are going to drain these and let them sit for a little while. Then let all the fuel come out first. Which, it's whatever. I gotta pause this. Pay attention too much. So I'm gonna drain those carbs. Let them sit overnight. Let them air out a bit. I don't like messing with the fuel. It gets me dizzy. And then we'll re-tackle this project tomorrow. But for you guys, it'll be like a 10-second cut. So let's get to it. Right, so I got a little ahead of myself. I took the tops off so this thing will lay flat. I've got it all set up so I can pull everything out of the bottom. One thing I did notice is, though, that the needles, I'm going to call them the needles, they're probably some better term for this. They've got a little circle clip way down in there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Way down there. And my tools will not reach there. I have another set of pliers somewhere, maybe in there, somewhere else, that I know should be able to get down in there. I gotta find those so we can check the size of these. It looks like the same diameter, but we gotta double check that. Oh, I also see new fuel to air ratios and some other clips. I don't know what those are going to hold on. Oh, that's going to hold that on. Okay, yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff in here. So, I mean, that's enough for today on beat. But we're going to get on more with power editing, of course. Like I said, this will just be a quick, and we'll be on to the next part. So, there, we're on the next part. Okay, YouTube, I bought a jewelry making kit for my wife. Only because A, she wants one, and B, these little pliers are enough to get down in there and pull off these rings that I was having such a problem with, and none of my tools will actually get down there. So there we go. One ring out. Now I should be able to pull this guy, these guys, and voila, there we go. So gonna replace these one at a time. The only problem I see is these are a different style. Oh, no, I lied. They are not a different kind. They are just complicated. So these don't line up, do they? Awesome. So I bought the kit. It doesn't seem to match. But that might be that these are different. These might fit into these properly. All right. So I guess we got to break apart what the difference is here. So there's not enough springs in this kit. Replace those. There's none of these. There's none of that. There's none of this. So is it worth replacing these into something that I don't see replacement parts for? Let me flip this upside down. And okay, so got a clip. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the problem I'm seeing here is A, the needles are the wrong distance apart. Shite. Could this be due to something else? Debating what I do here. Okay. So I got a new needle in there. Needle, right? And now I'm going to drop it in and see if it bottoms out, I guess, because if it bottoms out, we're screwed, and I got to go back to the old pins. Okay, so these are going to sit substantially higher, unless when we change out the bottom end, that this part is deeper or something. Then I'll try it. Oh god, this is not fun when things don't perfectly line up and I get worried like this. Alright, so I pulled out the main jet, I'm going to call this, I think. Is it the main jet? I can't remember. And you pulled this out. We've got this guy. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. These guys. And I'm thinking that I'm screwed. Looks like these are going to be the same length, which is not super helpful for our experiment here. Oh, excuse me, as I wanted to see if they were longer to accept the new needles. Excuse me, I'm going to break some stuff over here. Okay, we are in. Just want to make sure we're straight and tighten this down. Oop. We need a different screwdriver for this, but for this purpose, we're just gonna drop that in, and we'll grab the pin and this way. Well, that seemed to drop in nicely. All right, so double checked on my order, and I definitely bought the kit that says it's supposed to fit this bike. So what we're gonna end up doing is swapping out the new pin, off this one cylinder here. And we are going to put that back in. We're going to put in the old one. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to take this one out with the cool tool that I have here, the jeweler's tool here. Okay, metal then plastic. I just want to make sure I had the other one in there correctly, which I did. Yay! Yeah, we're gonna put the old needle back in. I'm gonna use the wrong terms for half this stuff. We're gonna put the old needle back in and swap out every other part I can from this. Oh, that's actually holding in place. Let's not fuck with that too much. Getting bloody good at this. Okay. I messed up, folks. Okay, so this is the old one, right? Old one. Okay, let's go back to the new one. New one. I still am not sure it's going to matter. But the spring goes on this side, dirt, and then the metal part goes on this side, dirt, and then the part goes in here like, and dirt, and then drops in. And does that, perfect. And then this plastic piece goes on the top, and you just drop it in and wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Oh, that's not bueno. Caught it. One more time. The washer goes on, because that keeps the friggin' spring from coming up. The spring goes on, and it can't get around the washer. Then it drops in here, like such, like that. There we go. And then the plastic piece goes in, and you wiggle it into place because you're cool like that. And then your part goes on top like this. Like that. Okay, and the last piece is that stupid clip that we're fighting with. Clip goes in and we're good to go. Okay, so let's look at these. It's definitely about the same length now, so I'm going to shut up. Anywho, let's fit it. Let's see if she slides right in there. I'm pretty sure that I lost the rubber bottom out of this again. I gotta stop doing that. Look at that. Okay, I lied. The new, everything will work new. Yeah, super simple to mess anything up that has a very specific way of going together, especially when you haven't done it a million times yet, and that you that you don't have a diagram in front of you. So the problem with me is I thought I had it right. These will work. These new needles, I was going to call them jets. The new needles will work. They are 3-stepped. They have 3 ways to be adjusted slightly. And I guess the real thing that we're going to have to do is, which adjustment do we want? Either way will make it run. But so, to recap what I've learned, is the top of it has the plastic piece. Against the circle clip is the washer. So we'll do washer. We'll do the circle clip. We did it on the first one or the last one. So we're doing the first one, this one. And we will just use the 2. Get it started again. I know there's a tool to do this easier, but I like to hurt my fingers, so I'm going to use the bench here for pressure. And it sounded like it went on, but then it fell right off. Interesting. I'm going to use the bench to provide pressure. Come on, bench. Okay, we are on. We're not going nowhere. We will do the washer. We will put the spring on. Let's see if this works right off the bat like it did last time. That'll do. And then we will feed this down into the hole. We will replace the plastic piece here. And it's got a certain way it has to go into, which is only one way it'll clip into the holes below. Now I found if I pull on the needle, take all the pressure off that spring, I can get these clips in without having to hold really anything from the top, and I can stay out of my own way while doing it. Voila, 2. So these 2 are new. Those 2 are old. We're going to do all of those, and then we'll come back to the next steps. Because A, I don't want to bore you guys to death. B, I could take 20 minutes on each one, or one could take me 4 hours. And nobody needs to watch that. So I'll be back momentarily with some more cool stuff. All right, next. Wait, hold on. Oh, that's gonna be that one. Okay, next bit here. I have 4 of these and 4 of those that are very close, but they're not quite the same. So as I pulled a old one out, and it's yay thick, and the thick one matches it, the thin one doesn't. So I don't know what the difference is between them, except that I'm going to use the one that matches the existing. And we'll continue rebuilding. Oh, if I can get that in there. Come on. There we go. So going to disassemble the rest of the what's it called? The rest of the carb here. All bolts come out. I gotta start putting the used stuff somewhere else. Oh, I got parts for the ZX10R finally came in. We got a case over here and a case over there, and we got all the parts for the transmission. It's all transmission parts. That's all transmission, and transmissions in there. So we got everything we need to start rebuilding that too. That's coming up soon. Oh, that's not gonna work. I gotta get my pliers out. Okay, we've got the carb basically rebuilt here. Just got to put the final touch of awesomeness on, which is bolt on the bottom, the bowl. But what I'm looking at is I'm wondering if I should hit this with a slight through the sandpaper, get some of that off. So we're going to do that first. We're going to hit that with a little sandpaper, break off any of that built up gasket or gunk or whatever it is. And we'll work on it from there. There we go. Took a little bit of like 320 sandpaper to it just to get the little bit of grit and crap off, and we are going to seal this thing right up. We are going to be good to go. So I've used all but the this guy here, which is the air fuel mixture screw. And if I don't remember which cylinder I'm on right now. It must be, this goes in 1. This one might be the one that's fine. One of these, the bolt for that's actually, or the whole mechanism is missing. It's like someone stripped it out, trying to get it out, and it could be causing all the problems of this carb for all I know. But we're going to rebuild this and act like that is fine for now, and then we'll redo this. The other thing we're going to do before we get this bike fully up and running is to get a canister of seafoam carburetor cleaner, and actually put that in with the fuel for the first start of this bike again. That way, if there's anything left in the carbs, it'll help push it out. Even though all these parts are very, very clean now, so I feel like there's gonna be nothing. It's just peace of mind for me. So I think for the rest of these carbs, I'm going to do them one at a time. So I'm on cylinder 1, now I'm going to 2. I'm just going to go right down the row and do each carb one at a time, just so I'm not mixing parts up or forgetting something. This is the old one. Please tell me you're the old one. Yes. But I got to make sure I keep putting things in the old bin, which is that little electric wire bin there. Yes! Okay. The carbs are back together. Everything is in. The new fuel to air ratios are in. Turned in all the way, backed out 2.5 turns, which is what I read on a forum somewhere. This is the one that you guys will see is missing. It's MIA. I don't know if I should dig in there and try to see if I can get whatever's out in there or if that's sealed up. But we're going to leave that for now and see how she runs. There's a nick here. There's like a couple nicks on these carbs, and they're dusty a little. Not terrible, but just a little bit of just atmospheric crappish dust. I kept them covered and kicked the engine block. Sorry, Tony. But yeah, we're back together. New seals, new gasket on the bottom. Lots of cool. Some stuff fell out of one of them. There was like some crud in one of them. So that's awesome. So next thing is install them in the bike, fuel it, press the start, pray for forgiveness. Yeah, let's get to that. Yeah, let's go. Yo, alrighty, I've got the carbs back in. It's the next day. I got the carbs back in. The pod filter's on. I have warmed this up just a touch. I got it started because when you first start a bike, sometimes it takes a little bit to get it going. Maybe a drip of somewhere. It could have been from me from before, so I'm just gonna ignore that for now. But started her up. No tack still, but she sounds good. Problem is I don't know what RPMs we're at because the tack doesn't work. So we're gonna have to get that fixed before we can fully fix the bike, and I may have to find an oil leak. Take a dirty rag on this thing. It's dirty. I don't see anything dripping, so this might have been just something from before. I don't know. Or it's seeping right out of that gap there. The gasket might be shot, liquid. We'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, everything's good. So cylinder 1 is actually the one with the air to fuel ratio issue. And one way to check for an air to fuel ratio problem is to don't do it. I've heard put a propane torch there without it lit and see if the RPMs change, which with this bike being freshly kind of started, I don't want to mess with that too much. Nor do I want to put a propane near this, so we'll play with that a little. This still needs what, a breather tube up here, because it's probably spitting all over the engine again, somewhere in there, which means the tank will have to come off again for the breather to be put in. But we got it running. I already told the owner that it runs now and that we can do stuff with it. Let's do a double check everything. Turn signal works, yay. Turn signal works, yay. Went for a little spinner on the block, squidded it because it's a Suzuki, so I had to squid it, obviously, for tradition. I got talking about this thing. This mirror is absolutely useless right now. And honestly, I think all it is this bolt here. Just needs, or is this just a, it's just a bar end. Okay, so that probably just has to be tightened. And that'll be good to go. But I was like, oh, I can't see anything behind me the whole time. Or my my Bell helmet, my test helmet. No camera, of course. But we'll go around on it again soon and do some more testing. But we're gonna let it cool down for a bit here and give it a refire. Basically, just let it sit, let it cool back down, so we give it another test. Oh, much better. This might be usable now, but does that? Okay, that doesn't interfere with the throttle cable. That's good. I was afraid of too. Okay, let's give that a good tightening. We can adjust that a bit from here. So cool enough. Super good enough. Yeah. So Suzuki runs, man. I'm thrilled. I can move it around the garage more without having to worry about where I left some parts for it. And I know there's still stuff I have to do, like the tack doesn't work. I got to go through it just to make sure all the lights are working. I'm going to take probably the front brake off and just give it a cleaning. It wasn't really grabbing much. Oh, and the other thing is I got to check the tire pressure because this thing felt heavy and it should not. I mean, I know it's heavier than all my other bikes right now, but I felt like the front wheel was kind of dragging. And I only went around the block like once. Well, I did like a weird one. Oh yeah, that's soft. So we get some air in that and then maybe take it for another test drive after it cools off. Oh, my air compressor's down. Oh well, we'll figure that out. Maybe I'll have to bike pump it. Yeah, so I'm excited. Don't worry guys, there'll be more on this. This isn't the end of it, but now that it's up and running, tire warnings. Oh, there you go, inch solid riding, inch pounds, PSI. Okay, PSI for riding, awesome. There it is, all right there, normal riding, continuous high-speed riding. Continuous high-speed riding. So I guess in between those is what we're gonna do. But yeah, no, we got some electrical cleanup. We got more. I'm just super excited, so I'm gonna keep rambling. So I'm just gonna shut you guys off. You guys ride safe, keep fixing cool stuff like this. Tell me where this mirror is, and peace, guys.